I've always been a kind of nosy person. I love to eavesdrop, and I won't go so far as to open somebody else's mail, but if that weren't immoral, I think I would do it, because I'm just curious. I'm curious about people and what makes people tick, and I'm always wanting to know more about subjects. I think most people are nosy. Maybe not quite as nosy as I am, but nosy. I think most kids are. Just go to a classroom of kids and you say, bet you want to know, I saw your teacher this weekend. What was she wearing? Where was she? What was she doing? Who was she with? Right? Or, you know, we want to know. We want to know things, and we want to know the behind the scenes. So writing nonfiction books for me is a dream come true, because I get to ask questions. I get to delve into people's lives. I always start with, a librarian once gave me this great advice. When you start a research project, ask yourself, what do I know and what do I need to know? Okay, what do I know? I wrote a book about honeybees. I actually started out writing a book about bees because I never really even thought about the fact that there were different kinds of bees. So what do I know? I know bees sting. I know bees make honey, some of them. I know, what do I need to know? I need to know what kind of bees are there. I need to know how they make honey. I need to know why they sting. I need to know, do all bees sting? So you make yourself all these questions, and then you go about answering them. Now, you can answer them by reading a book. You can answer them by going on the internet and going to a good, solid site, like a site from a museum or a university, or a site that has, okay, you can go to a really good internet site, a site from a museum, or a university, or a scientist's website. You can also ask an expert. Who would an expert be about honeybees? A beekeeper would be an expert. A scientist who studies honeybees would be an expert. You start asking these questions and you start finding the answers to the questions, and you end up getting more questions because there will always be more questions. So I found out that it's really mostly just honeybees who make honey, who make the kind of honey that we eat. So well, how do they do that? So then I researched how they did that, and I found out all kinds of things. For example, that all the worker bees in a honeybee hive are female. The male bees do no work at all. The male bees are there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to mate with the queen. And then they die, and if they don't die, they're kicked out of the hive because they get in the way. So whenever you see a bee sipping nectar from a flower, it's a girl bee. They're all girl bees out there. They're not the queen bee. There's only one queen bee in a hive. So you see how I can go on and on when I found something out? So that's what happens to me every time I do research. I get so excited and I just find out more and more and more. It's sort of like a treasure hunt. Research is like a treasure hunt. You find out one clue, which leads you to a next clue, which leads you to the next clue, and eventually you have all this research that then you need to turn into a book.